conversation, I gave it more thought. And what came to mind was the 13th Amendment, which briefly says slavery does not exist unless you've been duly convicted of a crime. In short, so because we've been convicted of a crime, in the minds of those who have the power, they're justified in paying us slave wages because we've been duly convicted of a crime. The language allows slavery unofficially to exist officially in prison in terms of wages. So unless or until we attack it at the root in terms of the system has to be uprooted and a new system has to be put in its place that doesn't have that language in the 13th Amendment. Now, in order to get people to rally around that ideology, I think sometimes you have to put it in their face, because when you're dealing with truth, in order to accept the truth, you must first accept the fact that you've been lied to and living your life on the basis of a lie. Well, we're not slaves. Slavery does not exist or should not exist, but that language in the 13th Amendment says it does and it is existing. So you have to have a host of like-minded people that are willing to come to the table of understanding and really realize, wow, we are handcuffed by this language. Let's take the cuffs off and let's get a new perspective on the language of the 13th Amendment, that we can start treating people humanely even in prison. Because right now, inflation is high for you all in society. So just imagine how high it is for us in here. We have jobs that's paying us $25 a month. If you have no outside support, that $25 a month is like 25 cents. It's not going to get you too far, which opens up the door for predators and preys, people being victimized, because it's just that kind of environment. It will leave me no choice.
All right.
That answers your question.
Yeah, it does. It does. So I get it. I get it. The point is that the languaging is wrong, and that's what people have to understand. I'm trying to figure out. I'm contemplating how the language got in there, because it was obviously very intentionally written to allow what has happened, and I'm not sure if it was ever intended to be this big. But I do think people can move towards being willing to correct it if they see that problem. What if the problem is or maybe a joining problem is that there's a very condescending view about crime. There's something that people don't understand about crime, or some generality that people have about crime, that I think makes it okay to dismiss a human's entire life once you attach the name crime to them. Is it like otherizing people?
It's otherizing, and it's also a legal term. It's called double jeopardy. I'm convicted for a crime. It was the people of the state of Michigan versus me. People of the state of Michigan found that I was convicted. I'm sentenced to do a time, to do a certain sentence. That should stop there. But now the double jeopardy is I'm being double taxed. I'm being punished for the crime. Now I'm being punished for being in prison. And now I lose all of my humanism. From their perspective, from their view of me, I lose my humanism where I shouldn't. And then things could happen like, the juvenile law, those guys who had life sentence for 25, 30 years, and then they wake up and now they're on their way home. But for 25, 30 years, there was no humanization. That was all being dehumanized. So now you expect me in 90 days to now take on this human concept of myself that you otherwise didn't allow me to partake in. So if that has to be attached also to the 13th Amendment, because when you view me as a slave, you treat me as a slave, you give me the bare minimum, if that, to fend for myself.
Thank you. That was a very complete answer. So, I want to say we're at the 12.5 minute mark, so we probably got a little under 3 minutes left. I really appreciate what you said. You made it very, very simple. And I think it has to be very, very simple to get people to care. But I think this is a very doable thing, and I don't know what the time will take on it, but I know that it's going to start with educating myself about the law and
Yes, sir.
relying on people who already have, so I don't have to go to law school.
Right.
But yeah. So it's a lot to think about, but I'm definitely gonna clip out your answer and get that on the website. So is there anything you'd like to ask me? Do you have any questions for? I feel like I'm always the one asking the questions. I want to open the door for you to do the same if there's things you want to better understand.
Well, I just wanted to say that we appreciate you from this side because I know that it's a tedious work. And like you said, pretty much taking it on yourself to a degree. So we just ask that you, as you continue to progress, that you embrace for impact. Because you'll know there'll be more that'll try to go against you than will try to go for you until they can figure out what your true plight is. So just if we can help you as best as we can in the way that we can, just know that we will.
I'm counting on it.
Together.
I'm counting on it. I have no illusion that I can do this.
You have 1 minute remaining.
I have no illusion I can do this on my own, and I have no illusion about the quality or character of the people inside of there who I work with on this. So I just say I hear you. I see you in all of your humanity and your dignity, regardless of what MDOC's interference is. And I'll be in touch.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you. Be safe out there.
All right, 2X.